Attitudes.
What's up, everybody? My name is Alex Windsor.
And I'm Sean Powers.
And we are the Data Dudes.
Yesterday, Alex and myself went around the building and interviewed students in order to construct our newest set of data. We asked 12 students whether or not they made their bed, and whether or not they felt it impacted their day. In a survey of 68,000 people by Hunch.com, 59% of people don't make their beds. 27% do, while 12% pay a housekeeper to make it for them. Now that's all great and all, but what impact does it make?
Well, Sean, as a matter of fact, 71% of bed makers, that's 71%, consider themselves happy, while 62% of non-bed makers admit to being unhappy.
Is that right?
That is right, Sean. This is what inspired our research, but we found our results were fairly different. Without any further ado, let's dive in. Before we get to our data, we'll have to go over our personal preferences in the bed making realm. If you're asking me, making your bed is a critical part of the day. Making your bed is the first task of the day, and doing so fills you with a small sense of accomplishment, which gives you momentum into the next task, and then the next, and then the next. Then, in the inevitable eventuality that you have a bad day, when nothing goes right, you can come home to a bed that is made, which you made. Of course, I'm referencing the inspirational words of William H. McRaven, an officer in our Army who made an inspirational commencement speech at the University of Texas, with bed making being one of his central principles.
Now, I have to admit it, I'm not on the same page as Alex here.
Really, Sean?
As I truly do think making your bed is irrelevant as well as a waste of time. I'm not a big covers guy though, so I typically do sleep on top of my covers with a blanket, so my bed is usually made. However, I feel like if I were to sleep under the covers, I still wouldn't make it. I do see your point, Alex, but when my bed isn't made, I feel a bit uneasy, but I just don't look at it then, so, because I am pretty lazy.
In our data set from here at Corning Painted Post High School, we're seeing a good 71% of kids do not make their bed, leaving 29% who do. Out of the 12 people we interviewed, 7 do not make their beds, 4 do, and one of them occasionally does. I think this speaks to the laziness of our generation, as it appears we wear it with a badge of honor, as 6 of the 7.5 people who said that they don't make their beds said it was largely due to just being lazy. If you're lazy with the little things, how can you expect to find some miraculous work ethic with the big things? Maybe it's just me, but I think doing the little things matter. I know at least one person who agrees with me, and that's Jalen Henderson, who said, "I make my bed because I like to come home to a made bed. I feel it has a positive impact because you've already accomplished one thing and you're on to the next."
I think the people that said it best on my case were Braden Hayes Glick and Kelly Hoyt. Braden doesn't make his bed because he simply doesn't find it necessary if he's going to get back in it that night, once again leaving it unmade. He thinks that not making his bed actually makes a positive impact on his day because it's one less thing to worry about. Kelly had a very strong opinion about not making her bed, and I couldn't have said it any better, so I might as well quote her. "I don't make my bed in the morning because I find it redundant to make it just to get back into it that night, messing up once again." Well said, Kelly.
Well, that's all we have for today's episode of the Data Dudes. Make sure to tune in 3 days from now when we talk about breakfast.
Don't forget to show out to the last Unified Basketball home game tomorrow night at 5, and wear either black for the blackout or your Unified t-shirt. If you don't have a shirt, they will be available tomorrow for just $10 a piece.